Greetings, everyone. Welcome. We're midweek on Going Optimal and staring at a traditional draft. Chat has spoken loudly today. I was a little surprised. I was talking about how I've been putting a finger on the scale to help best of three happen sometimes because best of one has been winning the vote so consistently, and almost like just to prove me wrong, chat was like, all right, best of three. Crushed the voting, doing best of three again today. I think we did that on Monday, and then we did best of one yesterday. I like them both. I like them both for the way they provide a different style of play. I don't like that best of one punishes me for my, it has the skill tax, the pairing of rank-based pairings, rank influence pairings. It's not based entirely on that, but rank influence pairings basically make it so that in best of one, I play against higher skilled competition more often, which is if what you're doing is looking to play against high skilled competition, play against the best you can find, that's fine. But if you are trying to win as much as possible, you do take a hit as a above 50% player to play in the ranked queues because they try to pair you with other above 50% players. Best of three doesn't do that. It only looks at win-loss record. So you may be playing against a worse player who's got a better deck today, that kind of thing. I just like that it's traditional Swiss tournament style, right, in the sense that it's finding me someone with the same record if it can, and pairing us up that way. And I think that's fair and balanced. So that's a nice reason to do best of three as well. And also it helps me leverage my above 50% single game win rate into a greater chance of winning a best of three set because I get three chances to win twice with an above 50% rate. It all works out. The math checks out, and I want you to check out the math at cardkingdom.com. That's my sponsor. I think you'll see the math is nice there as well, especially the sell your cards math. If you want to turn your cardboard into cash or credit, Card Kingdom offers better prices than anybody in the industry, and then they back it up with a fantastic inventory. So when you convert that incredible buy price value into store credit at a 30% bonus, you actually have inventory you want. Like you can get the stuff you want, build the deck you want with the credit you have. I've got credit on several sites, and Card Kingdom, even if their prices aren't always the best of the places that I have credit, they are the best because I get to use my credit on stuff I want. I've got credit locked up on some places that's just like, well, maybe someday I'll get some cards I'm interested in. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this credit right now. I never have a problem finding a place to put my credit on cardkingdom.com. If anything, I have a problem keeping my credit above zero. But regardless of how you acquire your cards, if you give Card Kingdom a chance now and then, you're going to see why I love them so much and see why I appreciate them so much as my sponsor. They're a great business, and I hope you check them out on my behalf via the affiliate links in the various places to let them know you got there from here. Much appreciated. Now, I guess I'm going to continue on gems. Historically, I've had the mantra of gold before gems, but now we've got these events in which gold is the better entry. So I guess my default for right now is going to be gems unless I get like super low on them or something. Then we'll balance it out. Hopefully, I do not get super low on gems on this account since we're nice and healthy, and I want to stay that way. All right, not bad fill time for best of three. Sometimes it's a little slower, but we're still pretty early in the format on a relative scale. Not actually early, but just got a long way to go. Exactly, healthy queues. Huh. One person walked away from their computer, it looks like. All right, we got there. Do we know anybody in this one? Not that I recognize. All right, what do we got? What's in the rare slot? I don't know. Oh, Search Your Life. Oh, this one's too tough to get real value out of. It's a mythic, but it doesn't really perform the way we want, in my experience. I think we want Study Break, Mage Hunter's Onslaught, or Snow Day. This rare also is not very useful and limited. It's pretty much a Planeswalker card. I mean, if you end up with one in your board, sure. Sometimes you'll face one. Frost Trickster also possible, but not really great. Interesting to note that Colony is the only real green pick here. I mean, this is a green card, but it's not that good. So yeah, Study Break or Onslaught, Leap Out. But I mean, Snow Day is kind of removal. I really like Snow Day. I've won a lot of games. Generally, when I cast Snow Day, I find I tend to win the game. I mean, it's a 6-mana spell. Oh, I didn't realize I ran out of time. How about a Frost Trickster, everybody? Not the worst, but certainly not what I was looking to take there. Oh well, we'll make it work. And I'll pay better attention this time. This familiar Semester's End, well, works with Frost Trickster, actually. We have an ETB here. Mana Tithe is interesting. Sometimes you get got by that. Yeah, I mean, there could be a lot worse things I could have landed on, but I should generally at least select something interesting so that if it does do that, I'm not quite as bad off. Maybe Summoning? Spectacle Mage jumps out. I do like this card a lot. Arcane Subtraction is a fine learn spell. Orator, also great. Doesn't really go with Trickster, but that's okay. You can take that and see where it goes. You want a Blink deck? I don't know. Don't know about that. Yeah, I don't think Spectacle Mage is the pick. Maybe it wheels, but I like a Summoning. It's a lot more flexible than Spectacle Mage, and I like getting one of those in my my board. I really do. This may be my most cast lesson. I don't know. That'd be an interesting question. I wish I knew that. But like, I think I get and cast Elemental Summoning a lot, especially for a 5-drop, you know. Devouring Tendrils. Get back on the removal plan. We could take a Lash of Malice for removal as well, but Tendrils at least works with Trickster as a college. So I think I'm going to start on the Tendrils and see where it goes from here over the Lash or the Negate. Arch is really almost a green-black card. I mean, you can play this in any green deck. It's not bad. It's good, but it's really excellent when you have life gain triggers. There's a Shock here. Just move our way into a little bit of red with the. I love that Shock and Lightning Bolt are both in the archives. We got the worst one, the uncommon one. So yeah, there's campuses. There's the summonings. We're not really close to these summonings yet. Yeah, I guess we're on the Arch. It's better, like, if this were Lightning Bolt, I would take it, but Shock definitely, I mean, hits a lot fewer targets. 2 is not 3. So I'll take the Arch as generically probably the best card here, even though I don't love what it's doing in our deck yet. But now we can take like a Blood Researcher and potentially pivot towards that deck if it's open. Expanded Anatomy as a colorless lesson is appealing as well. Pigment Storm, solid removal. Sorcery Speed, 5 mana, but it tramples. That's been relevant. Ether Helix is in our colors. We just take the Helix. I think the Helix is fine, but it's not amazing. And yeah, Researcher Arch is quite the combo. I mean, it's just put a counter on this every turn. Prof wants the lesson. That's fair. Expanded, lessons are sought after and important, but I think I'm in Helix or Blood Researcher mentality. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the Helix. But that was a tight one. I think you could have gone. There's 3 cards being discussed, basically. The life gain payoff, the Helix, and the lesson. And I went with the Helix, but I think lesson is probably where I was at, second place. Pop quiz or subtraction. I think we're taking one of these learn cards, but which one? Letter of Acceptance also interesting to me, especially in Quandrix where you're looking to go big. But I think we take a blue card here. And Which one? Do you like first subtraction or first pop quiz? I think first pop quiz. They're very, very close in terms of power level, but they do a little bit different things. But I'm going to take first pop quiz. Channel is 40 gems. Maybe we just take 40 gems here, but there is a spectacle mage, and there might be another one that wheels. We're not really on the Prismari path yet, but cram session, probably the play. This is the grown-up pick. This is the gem pick. We're gem independent enough that I can let this channel go, but if you want to take 40 gems, go for it. You're not gonna. None of these picks is gonna generate on average more than 40 gems for us. So if you're purely about the gems, take the channel. I'm gonna take cram session. Spirit summoning. We are not red or white yet, but I haven't abandoned anything yet, although we're pretty far away from red or white, I gotta say. Yeah, let's just take the runner, right? Because if we end up in the kind of the green-blue that we're looking at, runner is at its best there. I agree. Pledge Mage really wants to be in Prismari because this is not great as a blue-blue spell in a blue-green deck. But I'm not going to take Soothsayer, so might as well take it and see. I suppose also with the blue we have, there's worlds in which we end up Prismari from here. Especially like this is pick 9, like we might see it. If we see that 2/2 flyer that makes 5 drops cheaper. Yeah, that was in this pack, but it's gone. So if that was still here, I would have to take it as a pretty important sign. As it is, I think we curate over the very replaceable Servant or Archivist. Archivist, Soothsayer, 2 cards you hope to not play, but if you had to, you could. Which one do we like better? I guess I like the Archivist better in that world. In fact, I'll start it in the board, but if you have to play that, it's not the worst. It does a lot of stuff. It's big, has reach, keeps you from decking, can put stuff back to find in your searching. Take first day of class over nothing, but I don't think we're playing that right now. And claim 2 situational. Solve the equation for vault progress. Detention vortex appropriately last. Don't play that card. Hey, look. We're blue-green and there's this blue-green planeswalker. What does it say? Is it good? Is Kasmina good? I forget what Kasmina does. Each other planeswalker you control has the loyalty abilities of Kasmina Enigma Sage. That doesn't help very much for us. But for 3 mana, we can get to a 4 loyalty planeswalker and a scry. We can put fractal tokens in. We can search for instant sorcery card that shares a color. Yeah, it seems medium. Like, is there anything like Burying Books, Needlethorn Drake, Fractal Summoning, all make a case to even be better than this? But it's 3 mana. We'll take it. I'm just saying it's got, it doesn't super impress me. Hammer wanted the berry, for example, and I don't blame you. I'm going to give it a try, but I don't blame you. So, Counterspell, or another Summoning, or Mentor's Guidance. We're not really in red yet, but we could splash it. We like Wheel of Campus, take the heated debate. You like this Mythic? I don't, I guess, yeah, for this deck, it's good. Yeah, we'll take it. I've had a chance at this before when I've been in blue and like in Prismari and didn't want it. But when you're blue-green, I'm in for it because then you can journey into Jadzi, right? It's got a little play pattern, but I think you really want to be doing the journey part to really get the Jadzi part, right? I don't know. Is anybody playing this without being in green and blue? I think this is very much a green-blue card, but maybe I'm don't have the right experience with it. Bury or Prophecy. Explosive Welcome is here too, and probably pretty splashable. Do we have any berries yet? We don't have any berries. I'm going to take a first berry in books over a 7-mana splash and a colorless lesson. Opt. Playable, but not exciting unless you're really trying to get your spell count up in your graveyard. Another Cram Session is here, but probably just an Opt. Oh yeah, Zoomancy is fine too. Cram Session is interesting, but yeah, I should just take the Prof. I was so excited by this card early because it's just like such an upgrade on where this card has been, but I can see why they did it because it's still not, you know, it's fine, but this is not some bonkers card, right? It's still just totally fair. But it's a totally fair card we'll take. There's another Ether Helix, which I think I like over the Assistant or the Impulse. Pretty straightforward. Although we are in a, yeah, we need to make sure we have the permanence, because if you're in a spot where you can't cast this because you don't have permanence in your graveyard, it really is rough. But I am going to continue to take a not permanent. We're going to take Eureka Moment over the Pest Summoning for the board. You all want the summoning? I'm taking Eureka Moment. I can't pass it. Sorry. Here, I'll take the summoning here, though, over Pop Quiz. Biomath, or I think we want another lesson. It's Rip Apart, but we're not close to that. I mean, Pest Summoning, you don't have to play it in your deck, though, right? I mean, I like Spirit Summoning in Quandrix, because whatever, it's a sideboard card. You want the Pledge Mage here? Kind of want more lessons, but I kind of switched to the Mathematician at the last second. I like this Needlethorn Drake coming back around for us. Also, these Blood Researchers are showing up. There was definitely a path where we follow the Blood Researcher into a black-green deck. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I wanted Biomath. That's what I was trying for. If you wanted the green Pledge Mage, great. I didn't. Guidance. Another Pledge Mage. I'll take Guidance. We'll see if we get there on it. Explosive Welcome came around. That could be ending up in our deck depending on... I mean, it's very splashable, right? 7-mana spell. Pretty splashable. Enthusiastic Study feels late to still be here, but I don't think it makes our deck. Does Zephyr Boots? I don't know if Zephyr Boots does, but I don't think Enthusiastic Study does. So I'm going to take the uncommon and see if we fly today. Not sure. This, I think I want Servant over the Impulse. Might just play this just to, you know, make sure we have something in the yard for Ether Helix. Test of Talents, second to last, is fine. Urza's Rage, also splashable, although we just have an Archaic that goes straight in the deck and is fine. Quandrix Pledge Mage, always going to be great in a green-blue deck with some spells. But I think we just take the Archaic. If we were base red, I think I would take the Rage. But Archaic, just annoying, slots in, and really taxes your opponent on everything they want to do from there. Burying Books for the on-color play, or Rutha for the possible splash, or Annihilation for making sure we have some removal in the lesson plan. Rutha is amazing, but I don't know if we splash her. And we can just shore up having some removal in the lessons. It's really... we got a whole pack to do fixing. It would be a hedge, of course, but all you need is one environmental sciences or a couple of campuses, and by the end of the pack, we could be fine. I'm going to take Annihilation, though. Boy, more tempting splashes, but I can just take another Biomath. I love Inspiration so much, but I'm going to be disciplined. We don't really have... And here's the sciences, though. I would say we don't really... And suddenly we do. I'm going to take that. Boom, just like that, we can splash. Another Trickster, but a Mage's Duel. No, I'm not... I really like picking up the sciences there. Trickster was my goof grab on pack one, pick one. But we'll take a duel here. Probably not playing this Pledge Mage as it's playing out here. Yeah, like I reserved Frost Trickster and was talking about the real picks I wanted to make, and then time ran out. I was like, oh, Frost Trickster, yeah, that's the pick. Sure. But it's going to be our MVP, you'll see. What's Snow Day? Another duel. Do we have the... What's our... Yeah, we got 10 creatures and some sideboard summonings. So I'm going to take the duel, but I do want to fill out... see if we can find some 2-drops before the end of this draft. Or another Trickster, that's great. Scourge Colony, though. Maybe I'm just supposed to take the 2. Or the campus would be nice as well, but I think we need... I want to make sure we get some 2s down for like a Mage Duel on 3. So I like the Trickster, but I like Colony into Mage Duel. I like a 2-drop 2/2 into Mage Duels when you're on the play. It can be quite an important play, so I'm going to do that. We do have the splash potential to play something like Elemental Masterpiece, but we can also just take Arcane Subtraction. Or negate. Probably subtraction, though. I think I'm just going to take subtraction. We don't need to over splash. And I like splashing for this. Splashing for this is, yeah, okay. Like, two creatures is nice, but I don't think it's necessarily hugely important. We could take a splashed Pillar Drop Warden, a Campus to help with a splash, or just another Berry. You think more books? I think I'll reserve the books, but then see what chat has to say. I'm on Berry or Campus here, I think, yeah. But we got our environmental sciences, so we'll take the Berry. Another Berry. Sure, just bury them all. And I'll take a Pillar Drop, and maybe we splash it. This is, you know, this is... Rebuying your big stuff is real. I'm going to take the blue 2-drop, but I don't know about that. Another Pillar Drop. Maybe I just take an Assistant, though. I think I take Assistant. Breakthrough not happening. I think I'm not playing the Warden. And we'll see. Like, we can just stick to 2-color. We did get the environmental sciences, so it's not too difficult to splash the explosive welcome, but do we need to? Probably feels like I should just be straight 2-color. Even though I did pick up the splash potential. How are we doing on lessons? I feel like we ended up a little short, even though I prioritized a couple of them early. Like, we got a summoning, sciences, removal, but really we ended up pretty short on lessons. So let's look at how much learn we have. Maybe we need to cut learn. Although the thing with learn, the fact that you can rummage makes it fine, and we only have 4 anyway, so it's fine. We can play all of our learn. Gidanmore likes the splash. It's pretty free, but it does require at least one mountain in the deck, and I just don't know if we need it. I feel like if we're getting to that mana, you know, we have a late game plan with Jadzi, although Jadzi is just more cards, so you still need to do stuff. What do we need to cut here? 6 cards. If we leave the mana the same, let's see what our creatures are. Really don't want to play this Adept if I can help it. It's not what you want to do. Curate, Test, Devouring Tendrils. No, we like all that. We can cut the Guidance, I think. Curate and Cram have been called. We can cut one of those. Although I like them both decently enough. Let's see what people are saying. I'm going to keep the Mathematicians. We don't have a ton of fractals, I get that, but I think we need creatures. I don't want to go too low on creatures here. And yeah, I'm on keep the Cram. If we're going to cut Curate, I like cut Curate over Cram, if that's the choice. And now we're at 43. 3 cuts here. Let me get to deck building a little better. You can see a little bit better. Yeah, we could cut a Helix given the Bury-in Books we have, or we could cut a Bury-in Books given the Helixes we have. Yeah, we can cut a Helix. That's fine. I'm with you on that. Now we're getting tight. Yeah, I could even do one of each. Like, at some point, something's got to give here. Is the Assistant. I like the Runner. It's kind of a plan. We could cut a Servant as being a medium creature. Since we cut a Eureka, cut a Helix, we don't need quite as many permanents in the yard. You like Subtraction and Test of Talents as other possible pulls. Maybe Test of Talents could go. Rolly likes cutting the Assistant. So much good stuff to get back. I'm pretty high on the Assistant. I'm running it. Yeah, let's cut Test of Talents and start playing. And Duel School is good. There, now I've paid back Mama enough. I'm going to turn back on sleeve blinging, but don't redeem it. You won't get it today. No talent. No talent would also be funny. Let's try this. And anybody redeem lands? No. My open ended before it began. I had enough time for 2 flights, and neither of them landed, so I missed day 2 in my 2 attempts. But no shame there. Heck, there's no shame in missing it on 7 attempts, but especially not on 2 attempts. I'm just picking lands right now, Hammer, but if you want to redeem, go for it. I will wait and let you choose. What are we doing? Oh, Siriana, I hope you're okay. I mean, you're here chatting, so you're not dead. That's good. But I hope you are as healthy as possible. All right, hammer. Hit me. Hit me with that hammer, or I'm going to choose for you. Let's see. There it is. Zendikar. All right. Do that one. And that one. 9 blue to 8 green. Why 9 blue? What is it seeing? The Jadzi? I think we want green so that we can have a chance to 2-spell with a single green mage duel more often. All right, let's do it. Kind of forgot we were best of 3. That may have changed some of my picks, but I like that we have some sideboard, like things like Test of Talents. Oh, come on. Give me the sound. Test of Talents out of the board could be good. Well. Oppo going first. If we get any land, we can get a colony down, but then what? I think we have to mulligan this, but it's pretty sad. So close. Show me that, you know... Boy, we've got an environmental scientist, too. Show me an island on top, and I happily keep this, but we just got a mulligan. We just don't know. Got to keep this as well. Jadzi's pretty far away. So let's keep this and ditch Jadzi for now. What am I doing? Oh. I told you not to redeem sleeves. I'm going to reject you, David. Thank you. I'll get the scene fixed. I'm turning back on sleeve redemption, but don't redeem it. David's like, I'll redeem it. Elite is scurry, but we do have a berry in books to reset it at some point. Look, man, you're the one who didn't listen. Maybe I need to shrink this and go look. I mean, what am I think I'm going to do this so that I'm not doing nothing, reduce some damage, and find something to do that's relevant. Like maybe I just play pest summoning or get pest summoning to play. Because Kasmina just is going to die to a thing. Why do you want the sciences? I mean, I guess we can get more land, but why do we need more? Yeah, I like pest summoning. I'm gonna take that. It's not ramp. If it were ramp, you could convince me of the sciences, but we're not splashing, so we don't need fixing, and we got 4 lands. Are you asking about me? I am in the Hunter Pence thing tomorrow, if that's what you're talking about. But I don't know, maybe you're not talking about me. Not going to chump yet. I want to bury it in books first. I should be in the sweatsuit. I said yes. I don't know if they're behind on that or something. Could assistant and get back some of this stuff. We could get back the subtraction and get our removal. Yeah, it's a weekly thing with Hunter Pence's crew. Could also just hold the berry Could also play Kasmina and protect her for a little bit. Could play Kasmina and make a 2/2. Well, maybe they cut me. I was going to go look. But whatever, I'll figure it out later. If today's not my week, so be it. I think... Yeah, that's true. They are going to expanded anatomy. So I'm going to go to next here. No attacks. I just don't know if I want an assistant for the subtraction, but maybe that's fine. And then we have subtraction and bury in books next turn. I'm going to do it. Yeah, getting Barry back after we play it is fair as well. But, you know, you see what I'm doing. I mean, we get Barry plus Arcane subtraction next turn, and we can fetch removal for this thing. I'm going to... Do we chump yet? No, I can take 3. And a lot of instant speed action here. We could use the tendrils on the colony, get in with the assistant, and still have the berry for the elite. I kind of like that. Yeah, we could also just play Kasmina and have Arcane Subtraction to protect her. Sure, let's do that.
I can be your mentor. If your mind is willing.
Decent scry. We don't really want that land here.
Consider all possibilities.
Oppo a little stuck, I think, too. I haven't really, like, yeah, we didn't ramp or anything, so Oppo stuck on 3 is a consideration as well in terms of how we should approach the game plan from here. You try and punish people who are screwed, but sometimes you just don't have the cards to punish. Like, it would be a reason to, like, tendrils the colony. So they're both going at Kasmina. I think we subtract on the elite and we chump the colony, or the other way around, probably. Chump and reduce those. What our plan is here, and I'm not going to use, because I could try to trade the assistant off, but I want to actually attack with it. So I'm going to do this. You want to try and eat a squirrel? I guess we could do that too. That's fair. We could even do, like, we could do this, and then subtract on the elite. You like that? I was just thinking I didn't want to give up both my chumpers, but it's fair to get rid of a creature with them, so let's try it. I like it. Good line. I'm expecting a trick still here or whatever, but it's okay. We're going to make him do it. Yeah, we're trading for a trick. I have no illusions that we're getting them, but we are making trades, intentional trades. All right, so they got our Kasmina, but we got their squirrel, and we got a card. It's fine. Kasmina was no bomb anyway, so I'm cool with this. And now we get to bury the elite in books also. We're a little behind on cards like this. You know, the flood beats, or screw beats flood, right? Because if they can unscrew themselves just by a little, they got nothing but action. So I think we're behind here, given these life totals and the card counts. Looks like they're being very disciplined about exposing the elite to risk. We might get this countered, but I'm not going to wait anymore. I mean, we'll go to blockers, see if they want to do anything. And there was a pause there, so that's worth noting as well. But I'm going to try this. Like, we can't just sit here taking 5, hoping that they don't have something to stop this. We got to make them have something to stop this. Now, if they replay this, we can Tendrils it too. We get Tendrils the Amplimancer. But I'm going to go Biomathematician and send, and then see if we can get the Tendrils on the upcoming Elite. Trouble is they might go Elite and pump it, which would make a lot of sense, but I'm going to make them do that. They won't necessarily do it into open mana if we have open mana, and I can put a pause, a bluff pause, a bluff stop to make them think about it. Well, that's interesting too. We do not get to Tendrils, but if we play the Archaic, it really taxes them because they need to pay to keep us from getting a copy. So I like Archaicing after we attack with the 2/1 flare. And then Archaic is actually good enough to bite some stuff too, if we can untap with it. Oh, I barely even see the backside. Every time I read the backside, I'm like, why would I ever cast that? So I've kind of stopped reading it. Tramplers will only be a pain in the ass if they play 3 more lands, but this here beefy dude could give them the time to do just that. So we can just bury the Pledge Mage and set that back, but I think again we want to save this other berry for this Anatomy. So yeah, swinging with, I'm doing the Tron line here. We're just going to swing with the flyer and pass and have Barry. We could devour something, but again, we don't want to devour any of these things. I guess we could devour the Pugilist if we were afraid of what's going to happen to this in 3 lands. And we still have Barry on an attack at that point. But I'm still pretty nervous about this Dragon's Guard Elite, and I would like to kill it. So I don't know. This is why I'm not feeling great about game 1 here, because the Oppo is just deploying a lot of multiple must-kill type threats. So that's interesting. I kind of like putting Archaic and Mathematician on it and offering the 1-for-1, and then we have Berry and Books if they get frisky, and still have Tendrils to kill the Elite. So I'm going to go ahead and offer a 1-for-1 block and see what they want to do about it. Also, because if they go for, if they have a spell, we get to copy it anyway, right? Unless it's 2 mana specifically. That's a fair point. By losing the Archaic, I may hurt my ability to bite the Elite, but that's a good point. But we have Barry for it. So, like, if we make this trade for it, we at least have Barry plus Tendrils again. Scotty does not like giving it. It's too late. I've made this choice. I'm living with my choice, Scotty. Scotty thinks that was a mistake. Maybe so. I'd love it if they want to spend mana here. No? I mean, they're pausing. What is that pause for? Something. One of these 3 cards. Nothing here explains it. Well, Pugilist about to be on doesn't... Like, we can't do anything about it. We can bury it. The real question now is, do we try to Tendrils the Elite into the known spell? And given that we know they have an instant, like the answer is no, right? So we're gonna wait again. No, it's 5. 5 to Scry, 5 to Amplimancer, so nothing we saw there explains what we saw there. All right, well, they're sending both. Obviously, we're going to double block here and then see what they want to do. The trouble is we may just be trading these for a trick, because if they go trick, pump, elite, I'm not sure we can spend the books on it. I think we need to spend the books on the pugilist, but let's see what they do with this block. All right, they're just accepting this. All I have to do is hit pass, and we get a dead elite and take 5 damage. I'm cool with that. And I almost just like burying in books now. I didn't do it mid-combat because I did not want to give Oppo a chance to respond with an instant. So even though I could have buried this in books to save 5, I didn't for that reason. And actually, we don't really need to do it again. And although we might draw something, I guess I will bury it. It buys us some time too, because it puts it a few down. Or at least we'll probe this hand and see what they've got. All right, Mage's Duel, interesting as well, but not really that what we want now. I think we just, I mean, we could even play it and kill and fight that thing. But I think we'd probably just Tendrils that. Both of these are very similar cards. But this can technically do 3. This can only do 2 here, so we're going to try it. That's what it was. All right. And now if I Mage Duel, what happens? We don't even get above 0, a power above 1, above 0, so we're going to just pass here. We need our, I'm going to bring in our other 5 mana bounce spell, because it does get these fractals. But we're now trying to effectively chump our way to victory, Mage Dueling the Amplimancer, and then chump, 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 and hope we get there. Chumping this a little more difficult. So we got to chump these because we can take 1 hit from the 8/8 and be at 1, but we got to chump the 8/8 that doesn't trample. Well, we're still going to chump the 8/8. We just can't chump this, right? Well, we knew that was coming too. So let's see if we can get there, though. We need some help off the top, I think. Also, they get to cast this. That's going to make it extra rough. Really makes us need something off the top. Well, that's interesting, but is it up to? Unfortunately, it has to fight, so this doesn't really help us. And are we just dead? We're kind of just dead, honestly. Came very close, but we attack with the assistant, get him to 3, die on the crackback. We can chump, take 8, go to 1, but then what's our plan from there? I think... Oh, Scotty, don't make me time you out. Look, I made my choice, but if you're going to go results orientation and look in the rearview mirror and say, here's all the things that would have gone differently if that decision you made 12 years ago was different, that's not very helpful. Come on. Because you don't even know what the opponent would do. You say if Archaic was still around, we'd have a Fractal too. That is not true, and you know it. Why would you even say that? Oppa would play differently. Which could be your point, but again, I made my point. Made my play, and I'm lying in the bed. Perhaps Scotty wins this one, but I have the microphone. Ha! I'm going to scoop, though. We have no chance here. So I wanted to bring in Helix because they're making bounceable tokens. Got so much action for the tokens, right? Like, all of these deal with the tokens. Yeah, we could cut a mage duel even. Although my meme game is off. I've been missing so many memes. Sorry, gang. I'll get you a assistant replacement after I do my sideboarding. I don't think we want to, like, maybe we want them all, though. Like, they did play small stuff. It's not like there was nothing to fight. Like, heck, I want to fight this. I want to fight that. I want to fight that. So it's not like they had nothing to fight. I don't love adding boots. We were already flying, and it just wasn't quite enough. Although I hear what you're saying, put this on bigger stuff, but we don't, like, our stuff isn't really huge. Like, if we were making big green threats, I'd be more down with this, but I don't know. You want Test of Talents in? I gotta watch out my time too. Yeah, we could cut both the fights and just feel like with the subtractions and everything, we're just better off countering stuff. This is interesting. Kind of like this change. Well, if you're bringing this in because we need to get through for damage and win, I mean, Vortex Runner does do that job already. So, you know, in terms of having a finishing move, like Vortex Runner kind of is that. I agree that we're a little low on finishers, though, and this could kind of be that. I just wish we had higher power. I'm gonna send in before I lose all of my sideboarding there. I'm not sure this is correct or anything, but it's better than undoing the changes we did make. Although interesting to cut two. I cut two fight spells, but we just are up against an opponent with such big stuff overall that I think that feels okay. All right, I like this. I mean, Vortex Runner is practically the plan, which makes it mean that I don't like that we have it early because I don't want it killed early, but we'll play Mathematician and then see what else we can do. I don't think I'm going to block this with the 1/1, so I'm going to attack. If this is my only real play next turn, I am going to play it. We don't really have any ramp either. I don't know if this is a good play. Like, we all just figured this was a good play because it's this type of deck, but is it? Like, we're hard casting 8 drops, and we don't even really have any ramp in the deck. I'm not sure this is correct. I'm going to offer this, see what they want to do, trade for trick or card. Either is fine with me. Probably, I was expecting a subtraction there, honestly. Yeah, Eureka moment. Okay, that's our one quasi-ramp. It should work. I just gave it some focus. CBL, that is. let me know. Yeah, I'm down for an attack again. Not with this, though. All right, Molecule Man. Take care of yourself. And we'll talk to you soon. We can just say no blocks there. They can have their 3 for the turn. Helix is all right. You see what I mean, though? What are we doing with this? This just feels weak. Incorrect. Helix, nice, though. We could kill this and get the Zoomancy back. And nothing really else to do here. So when we can play the Vortex Runner, I guess maybe we wait until there's a summoning token to bounce. Let's do that. I'll be patient and just go Vortex Runner this turn so that we can bounce a token. And I'll send everything if they want to trade on the ground for either of these. Right now, I'm thinking I pull this. Convince me otherwise, chat. Anybody with me? Should we cut this? Or you're like, no, Ryan, trust me. The handful of times you get to 8 mana and have this card in hand, you're going to be so happy. We play other 8-drops in this format, perfectly fine, true. But are we playing other 8-drops in this deck? No. No, we're not. Yeah, Cultivate, this sucks for us because they're not giving us anything we actually want to target, and we don't even have, like, Assistant wants the Helix, but what are we going to let him have this back? It's really kind of annoying, but we are going to get the Helix back. So I'm going to... yeah, no, I'm not saying this card is... if you have the... It's a little build around, though, right? I'm going to let this tick down one of our hourglasses as I really am trying to figure out if I'm supposed to use this Helix now or not. I mean, there's nothing else to do if I don't. Like, we're just passing the turn if we don't. So I am going to send back the Mathematician, give him a Mathematician back because I want my Zoomancy back. And am I even attacking? I think I want the Drake to threaten the Cultivator now. I'll start attacking with the Assistant, but... Oh, the green sorcery. Here, let me do that for you. You can read it. Yeah, the idea... Oh, the green sorcery helps you get to Jadzi, but you need the lands in hand. I mean... Yeah, maybe the play was to do nothing, but I don't mind getting this Assistant Helix thing going. That's why I did it. And now we do get to... I expect that we get subtracted here, but we got to draw out the subtraction. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I don't think they attack here with... Oh, really? That's funny. I was pretty sure they had subtraction, honestly. Well, we're closing in. Maybe we'll get there this game. I like... Zoomancy for now. I'm trying to get him to commit to this summoning. All right, so now, unfortunately, we can't two-spell, but I am going to Assistant back our Helix now to have an answer for this 6/6. No attacks. Probably chumping a 6/6 for gain 1 instead of lose 6. I could have stacked enough on to threaten a trade, but we got the Helix coming, so we're going to do that. Too bad we don't have one more land so that we can play the Drake, but at least we have a permanent to get back, and I think we do want the Drake, given what they're showing us here. Try to take out that Pugilist, let it trample once. Or maybe twice. I mean, if they play a land and attack for 8, like, anyway, we gotta... Yeah, we can chump with the assistant too, but I'm gonna not do that play now, because, I mean, that leaves us playing Biomath as our play, and then chumping here. It just feels too slow right now. I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna get the Drake for some death touchy defense. Am I blocking with the assistant? I don't think I am, so I'm attacking with it. There's the 8/8 we knew was coming. Now we're going to have to try and trade off for the 4/4 with our Professor, which I assume is going to happen because they didn't send this stuff. Tough spot, down a game and staring at big Pugilist here, but we're not dead. We're only mostly.
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
And do we have attacks for the assistant again? Are we blocking? We are definitely putting the Drake on the Trampler. We might go to 3 or whatever. But the other, we have plenty of blocks elsewhere, so I am sending the assistant here. Yeah. But not the runner. I guess I could even send the runner. If they wanted to double block, we could trade. But I think if we do win this game, the runner matters. And here's where I'm really worried about that arcane subtraction that we have been dodging. Like, we've done this Drake a couple of times, and maybe they just haven't drawn it. And maybe they have the pump or something. I could also, like, put a... Maybe I'll get a little bit of life here. A little extra trample prevention and a little extra life so that they have, like, pump, we survive. Although I guess this is a death trigger, so we don't get the life. You know... Maybe I don't need to do that. I don't know what am I playing around by doing that? Right now, like, +3/+3 would kill us, basically. And there are such things in the format, but they're not very commonly played, and we didn't see it in the first round. Yeah, like, big play. There's pump spells, of course. I mean, it's Magic. There's green pump spells. I just don't see them played that much, and I'm not sure if we're playing around it. It's really only pump. But I'll do it just to make sure. Yeah, we do have to take some risks, but adding a pest to the chumping here isn't a like, not blocking with the pest isn't hugely important to the risk. All right, well, I can play this, but I cannot activate it. We can play a 5/5, though. All right, 8 mana 5/5. We got there, gang. Except not. And don't worry, I just have 7 minutes, 28 seconds to win 2 games. We got this. Oh, me and my clock. I gotta be better about it when I go for the best of 3. But now we are literally just piling on and hoping, and I gotta leave the assistant for the aerialist and the runner as the way we hopefully eventually win. But if this block doesn't work out, if we get blown out from this card, that's just the way it is. Still alive. Still alive. And I'm sending the runner now. Like, we gotta get him dead before they get us dead. And we do have block, block, take one, and that's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the trade here. Take one. Yeah, I think maybe Oppo missed an upkeep scry, although maybe they were thinking they didn't want to scry there. All right, we got to keep taking chances. It is a big chance when your opponent gets to scry, because they get to look at 2 cards here to try and find a way to kill us. But, oh, this is not a... Oh, sorry, this is a rare land. You're right. Sorry, we saw a dual land and presumed it was campus, but you're right, not a campus. So they didn't miss one. They can't. That's great, because it means we're more likely to get there on the runner plan. So I'm going to go ahead and keep attacking, and we're going to cross fingers that this Needlethorn Drake survives to continue holding off this aerialist. Obviously, we're a removal away from death, but we got to take our chances here. What's with dual lands that aren't campuses? That's not fair. All right. We knew it was a removal away from death. We took our shot, and we missed. Always sucks to open on a loss in best of 3, or you're out of it. You cannot win maximum. Boo. Boo, we're losers. Yeah, we took our shots. I like how we played the second game towards the end there. I mean, in terms of playing to our outs. I don't think I played that whole match perfectly or anything, but I like how we saw our outs and tried to make it, and we just missed. They found their removal and got us. Oh yeah, thanks, Scotty. I'm going to try and cancel out of this, and I think we should cut it. Yeah, I'll fix the format too, thanks. All right. Yeah, I don't think that 8-drop is in the right home here. Not convinced. But what should we do then? Maybe Boots is a better version. Like, if the idea of this was is our finisher, like we could bring in this as our finisher, or just more ether helixing in the main. What's our other option? A generic dumb 3-drop creature. We could play Explosive Welcome, but we're in this similar spot. I mean, I guess, you know, we do have some, not ramp, we have some, I mean, we have some ability to get to 8 beyond our draws because of the environmental sciences. But I just don't see, if I took out this 8-drop, because this is not a deck for 8-drops, I don't like adding another one. I would rather just like have a Helix or a Curate, something in that's just pretty generic, but that can be swapped out when we understand what we're up against. Yeah, Archivist, maybe that's fair. This would not have sucked for us. I like that. That's interesting, Hammer and True. Yeah. Hammer suggests the Archivist. When I took this, I was like, well, we hope not to play this, but it is playable. It actually does a bunch of stuff, and it's playable. It's big, it has reach, it keeps you from decking, it reinserts stuff into your library for searching. 3-mana draw spell. That would be Mentor's Guidance. I don't want to do this unless we have the density. We've got 1 Druid and 4 Wizards. I don't think that's enough for me. Five ways to double it isn't enough. But yeah, I like the Archivist idea. Let's start there as a generic place to go. I think this does more for us than the, like, if we had this instead of the 8-drop, we'd probably do a lot better last game. All right, let's give this a try. See if we can come up with 1,000 gems out of this after starting with a loss. Guess what I did last night? I played poker. I played live poker with no mask or anything. Just some vaccinated friends playing some cards. How's that sound? I lost. It was a tournament with rebuys, and I blew my opening buy-in and 2 rebuys, so and then didn't cash, so I blew $150 last night, but felt great. All right, we can keep this. Cram into something here. Hey, Drake, even better. Although we could cram into a 3-drop as well. The Pests. Now that we have a second green, we could do the Pest plan. What do we like more? I guess we don't have a 3 yet, so I'm going to cram Session to give us something better than Drake to do on 3. Just kind of choosing the lesson that supports a curve out. Playing the Pest Summoning here threatens to double block. We'll see if they want to make that attack. No, they say no. I'm cool with that. We're going to go Zoomancy into Archaic and then start dumping cards, dumping spells. Again, I don't see it. Maybe I should. Each player looks at top 5 cards. That just seemed... No. What? No. I'm not playing that. No. Every time I read that, I'm like, why would I cast that? Yeah, sorry, I should have passed the turn. That's where I'm leaking seconds, right? I gotta be better about talking when I've passed. Talking when this doesn't have an hourglass on me, right? Gotta give me the wink, man. Skeeve, your suggestion was not quite bad enough. Speaking of bad, these are like 3 cards that I'm really not looking to play. I have this and have played this. This isn't the worst if you need a curve filler. But I am not impressed with Oppo's plan, and I would like to crush it. It's in our sideboard. I don't think we added it, did we? Did we put it in? I'm not saying this is unplayable, but nobody's... If you're excited about this, you must have a lot of life gain triggers. I'll just say that. I think we did. We cut it. I cut it pretty early on in my deck building. Do we offer the Professor? I think clearing the way, like, before they do anything. Yeah, that's fine. Let's send the Professor and make this offer and then play the Archaic. Could even send everything. Like, if they want to just eat a Pest, I wouldn't mind trading a Pest for 6 damage here. So I'm going to do that. Boy, they didn't even block a Pest. Okay. and we'll follow through with the Archaic plan here. They're tight enough on mana that it's going to be hard for them to cast a spell without giving us a copy, an impactful spell. This produces land mana, though, so they're going to have like 5 mana. So maybe they can do a 3 mana removal spell and pay to keep us, like they could burn this and pay to keep us from copying it. But then we at least made them pay 5 mana to kill the Archaic if they've got one of those red burn spells in a land. Although only the common one does 4, the uncommon one does 3. Yeah, Servant too valuable. Oppo paid a price for that creature. Let's see if we can punish him for it. I don't think we want to offer the Archaic unless we find our, you know, -4, which we didn't. But let's go Eureka Moment, see what we find, then attack. I know this is an instant, but it may affect our combat. Like we have the -4 of our own, so if we found our -4, we could attack with both. Did not find it, so I'm just going to attack with the Professor. Although they're low enough, we could just send in and offer again, but I do like the Archaic with their low mana situation, so I'm just sending the Prof. Pests were a consideration. Maybe, given how Oppo has not been blocking, maybe I should have. Maxing mana is Pop Quiz, but we can get on board with a colony, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's next turn. It's a 4/4. I think we should play a 4/4. Suddenly 8 mana, no problem. But we did get Eureka Moment, and that's what was it Fenor who was calling that out? Like 8 mana works when you're even card draw helps you with 8 mana because it's effectively. Helps you hit your land drops, like helps you be at 8 on 8 if you've got the card draw. But I still like cutting it. I don't feel like our card draw is so heavy that we can reliably get to the 8. We just happen to do it here. No, I didn't. Is Oppo playing over 40? Oh man, I guess I got to get a new. And look, this was our 8 drop, so we actually would have been able to play it. But this is good too. Kind of like just offering the Archaic now. Let's just put maximum pressure on and see what they want to do. Oppo seems a little chaotic here. I'm not sure Oppo has a plan as tight as what you're suggesting, Skeeve. I think they're just playing some magic cards. Yeah, right now this is lethal if they got nothing. All right. Well, and this, you know, for better or for worse, like if you don't want, I feel like Oppo is a newer player. Like basically, I'm seeing multicolor mess here, and Roger Dangerous. I'm not. It's not attacking you. I would love for you to join our channel, and we could help you out. But I think you're making some mistakes on deck building and card choices here that suggest that you're maybe not as experienced at Magic Draft or at this format at least. And so for better or for worse, we are being really pared down here. Again, sorry if I'm being cocky or whatever, but like I believe we're better at this game than Oppo based on the evidence we've seen. And in a ranked based matchmaking, I don't think we would ever see this Oppo. Is that a blessing? Is that a bug or a feature? Right, that we would never see this Oppo in best of one. It depends on what you're in the game for, right? Anyway, here we are. What are we going to do about this mess? Maybe we just run this back, not knowing too much about Oppo's exact mess. I think I am just going to run it back here. A little rough, but with the Arch and 2 lands for it, we're going to keep and see what we can find. Eventually cast our Trickster and our Biomath. If we have to, we can even pay to sacrifice this to learn and go find our environmental sciences. That is a slow start if that's what we have to do, but I do like that we have that option. Ideal draw is an island, though. Just give us an island, and then I'm a happy man. No luck on the island, but do we pay 2 to learn, or do we Scourge? Scourge doesn't really have a block, and I think I just want to make sure we get our land, so I'm going to pass. And remember, this time, that I can Arch, and I can gain life and find the sciences. We may have to discard next turn, though, too, even doing this, because we go... we're at 7. We Arch to go find an 8th card. We draw a 9th card. We play our 8th card to go find a land, which is our 9th card. We play it, and we have 1 mana and 8 cards. So we are probably going to discard, but I still think we probably should. Does anybody think the discarding makes us want to do something differently here? I mean, if so, I should have just played the colony, I suppose, but... I mean, it also just blocks really well. blocks holds these back. It's not too late to change the mind. We could just go for a natural draw, but we'd be pretty sad. I think I'm going to do it. And we might, though, go... yeah, if we got the natural land, so what we can do is not bother with the sciences this turn. It was a good draw, actually. I'm glad we did what we did, but now we get to not discard. So I'm going to go island, and then we get mathematician into mathematician, and it looks pretty good. Next turn, if we don't draw land, we can also go sciences colony. Or we can just play biomath and... Thank you for that sub. Appreciate it, George. Cultivate from Oppo looks pretty good with the Storm Kiln artist in play. I'm glad the Storm Kiln does not get toughness, because we're going to try and trade off for it anytime that we can put 2 power against it. Another card from Oppo that I am trying not to play. It's not useless. I mean, it's a 2/4 for 3. But it's just like there's so much more synergistic things you could be doing in the set, right? So now we go sciences, find land, play it in cram session. Could also Trickster this down, and start getting in. I think I'm just going to go get my land, though. Let's make sure we're hitting our land drops. But I want to get an island, so I'm going to do it this way. And we'll colony it up here over cram session. Yeah, cram session, too many cards. Certainly like our fight cards in this matchup. We took them out of the last one, but funny. All right, you did it. You turned your double major into a bear. Well, this looks like a reasonable offer. The colony is pretty far away from being big, and we can get it back with the Helix anyway, so I'm going to take this offer of, well, 1 for 1. Or they might have a trick that could 2 for 1 us, but I'm going to make them show me. This Oppo has not convinced me they are playing at that level. They could get us. I'm not saying it's impossible, but based on what I'm seeing, I'm going to make them show me. Yeah, Cramp Session is just a replacement, but I don't know if we were over 7 cards at that point or not. Well, we could Biblioplex for the environmental sciences, get it back, and then go sciences and have a 3-drop next turn. We could Cram Session and get nothing castable for 2 mana. We've already got our 2 mana spell. I kind of like Trickster offer. This could get rough if they get to 8 mana, but we do have the Helixes to start messing with that. You like getting the sciences? That's kind of where I was at, but I didn't know if that was a little too fiddly. But we have some time to fiddle. Sure, let's do it. One of the reasons I was holding off, too, is that Assistant is really nice with the Helix. If you can loop his Assistant Helix, that's pretty powerful. But we still could. This has got to die anyway, so maybe we'll try and trade that off so we can still do that. Why would they play a garbage card like this? No. But as I said, this is kind of our 23rd card, and it just seems like Oppo's playing a lot of 23rd cards here. I do want to trade off the Assistant. As I said, I'm hoping to Helix it back, so I'm going to take it for the actual card, not the token. We might be able to bounce the token. Could also just block for the token as well. At some point, we got to deal with this, but we have tools. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take the trades as offered and then work the other 2 creatures with the tools we have in hand. We have them out-carded by quite a bit. We can even go Sciences and then hold up Burying Books if we want. Or just Mathematician or Trickster. Lots to do here. Taking a Forest because of the Mage's Duels in the deck. Just generally better to have a little extra green. And now we're either Burying in Books or Trickstering. Or Mathematician could create a 2/2 out of this. I guess Mathematician is fine. It pumps up the Fractal. Let's do that. And actually gives us 5 power, so we could threaten a triple block on the Archivist. Also, we're at 25. If they attack, we could take it. Now that is a campus that has Scry. I know this. I can read it from here. All right, sending the Archivist, but not the Artist. If we block with everything, it's really a 1 for 1 because we don't care. The tokens were made by the Mathematician. Foil King and JC say take it. Sure, we can even pin this down and crack back. That's fine. Let's say take this. We can race him. Got a lot to do here on that front. Our Tendrils is fine. So I like Trickster holding down the Archivist and Tendrils the Artist. But let's start with Trickster to see if there's a pause that we need to be concerned about.
All right, everyone. Chill.
There was a pause. Do we need to be worried about it? Maybe we just send our 2/2s. All right. That's what was going on. Well, that's cool. I don't mind that at all, if that's all they had. I'm going to... Also, I wanted to give you the... I owe you this. Gotta find it. Oh, man, I can't find it. This is how I lose all my time. There it is. Found it.
¿Dónde estás? La biblioteca. Me llamo T-Bone, la araña discoteca.
Why didn't what tap what? I don't know what we're talking about. Well, that's somewhat of a problem. What do we do about that thing? I guess we look for a lesson and we exile it. We're going to cram session and get the annihilation. And we have bury for the archivist if it attacks. But no attacks here. I don't want to bury the bookworm in books. They just get value out of it before we can annihilate it. Bookworm is my favorite card in Oppo's deck so far. I like Scourge Colony too. Cultivate's great. Wow! Well, I was saying that we didn't want to bury the worm, but guess what? We're going to bury the worm here. Well done, Oppo. You're going to get some extra value out of the worm, but I mean, I could also chump it. You know, we can chump and survive, but we are going to bury it. Wow. 28. 28. And then, yeah, I'm going to eat this thing now. We'll have this snack. Oh, man, they're pausing. Oh, maybe it's just to sort the order, but there we go. Vortex Runner. Now let's just do Prof here. Max the mana. We could send a land back to hand. You can actually hit lands with Helix, but I don't think we want to bother with that yet. We're going to Vortex Runner and attack. Or, sorry, Zoomancy. Attack and Zoomancy. And now we're going to Helix. Only get 1 mana left over, unfortunately, but I like still applying this pressure here, especially with Annihilation waiting for the worm. And which one do we want back? With 6 mana, we are not really... I think we just want the Frost Trickster, and maybe we pin down the worm for a turn while attacking. We could also get the assistant to keep that whole cycle going. But yeah, Trickster with Worm, I think we all hit that at the same time, so let's do that. Seemed like made sense to all of us. It's tricky to rock a rhyme, that's right on time. It's tricky! Anybody play a lot of SSX Tricky? Any SSX Tricky players? Oh my god, that game. When that game came out, I was living with my buddy who is a huge gamer too, and we played that thing into the ground. Oh my god. Was it Dreamcast? I don't even remember what console it was on anymore. I feel like it was on a PlayStation-y console. Oh, maybe it was for N64, yeah. There was a snowboarding game for N64 we played that was not that, too, that we had big competitions in. All right, so let's go Trickster. Yeah, 1080 snowboarding was N64, and it's funny, my buddy and I, we were on different life schedules at the time, and 1080 snowboarding had a ghost feature where the best run on a given course, they would show the you could make a run against the best time ghost, right? And for like a couple of months, I would get up in the morning and play that game until I set the new ghost record, and then my ghost would be the one on the course. It was like the final course. And then I would go to bed, and my extra night owl roommate would sit down and he would play it until he took over the ghost lead. And we basically swapped ghost leaders every single day for a long time. I have fond memories of that game. Basically, I like snowboarding games, I guess. Tricky was better, though. Tricky made you feel so powerful. All right, looks good. Fine start. A lot of cheap stuff and 2 colors of mana. There's our third land to boot. I'm going to go with raw power here and start with the colony. And I'll continue max power with the Needlethorn Drake play, and then next turn we have Devouring Tendrils, which with a Death Toucher is amazing, and Arch. So actually we don't have 2 unless we found a forest. So we do have 2, but Oppo didn't give us a creature to kill, so it doesn't really matter that we found our second green. I'm going to start with an attack. And the golden arches. Not so golden, but the green arches. Another one my friend and I like the... Ah, man, N64 is a really nostalgic console for me. Had so much fun in that time of my life living with a gaming buddy and just gaming constantly during that stretch of time was a blast. There was a jet ski game for the N64 that my buddy and I liked a lot. Wave Runner? Wave Runner was great. Wave Race? Wave Runner. I think it was Wave Runner. Or was it Wave Race? Maybe it was Wave Race. Gain life, learn, play. I mean, we can actually do something here. Like, the arch isn't really doing anything. I kind of like fetching something to play. What do you think? Am I just being over... Because I could get pest summoning and we could add some pests to this board, but... Yeah, GoldenEye was a huge one for us. We played a ton of that. I guess I'm going to wait. Maybe I'll learn what we need to fetch after they play this turn. There you go. Yeah, so now I kind of like getting the 4/4. Or maybe just introduction, we could annihilate that thing. Should we just annihilate it before it can get any value? We can either annihilate it or play a summoning to try and eat it, but then they get some value. But that's not the worst if they don't have... Yeah, and then we can get this later for a bigger threat. All right, I'll let him have one shot. This might draw them 2 cards, which was part of my calculus, Pablo, but I think this is correct. And that's okay. I mean, they can do this, but they're not going to cast anything. Vortex Runner. Got a bunch of stuff that cannot devour the Dust Speaker, but we cannot cast the runner and bury this in books, and I do think we need to bury here, so I'm going to bury an attack. Or we're going to get our talents tested. All right. Now I need to play... yeah, now I guess they just get to do this. Yikes. So I'm attacking, though. I'm not going to block. Well, they tested into or they dust speakered into a rare. That kind of sucks. But we could find something ourselves. Hopefully this Eureka moment delivers something to do besides what's in hand, because we can't do anything against what we're looking at with what's in hand. That helps, no doubt. Having a 4/4 helps a ton. We can even tendrils now, and probably should. Do we tendrils the speaker or the painter? That's interesting. Painter is actually harder to get going here. It needs to connect to do its thing, and this just needs to attack. So we're going to tendrils the thing that only needs to attack to do its thing. If they can remove our colony, come on with that. I think it was the right choice, though, Pablo. I mean, I don't know, maybe you go for this one, but like if we did it the other way, we're just going to get wrecked by the long-term advantage of that other card. So this is painful. Big time painful. This card is such a strikeout home run. There are times when it does literal 0. You just don't even have an attack. You paid 4 mana for a 1/4. And sometimes it wrecks your face big time. We're in that second camp, unfortunately, here. But yeah, I mean, this cleanly blocks the thing if they don't have any spells to cast, but unfortunately it looks like they got plenty. Don't like our chances here in game 1. If you do, I don't know about your math, because we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards in hand, 2 active creatures to our empty board and 2 cards. Like, this is not going well for us. Yeah, how can we lose? We got a Planeswalker. Cram Session is how the comeback starts, though, right? Because we can at least annihilate the Flame Painter, which I think we should do. It's just too risky to play the runner and hope that we're not going to just get reworked by Prismari Command and Pigment Storm. Although Pigment Storm doesn't do much if they take away our runner. So I'm going to go Cram Session Exile. painful. I still don't think we're going to win this game, but I'm glad we got rid of the thing that was going to beat us quickly. You could make an argument that they're running out of stuff to even bother with. Like, the Prismari command was the only good one left in the yard, but they've got so much action. All they have to do is, like, cast a removal spell, and then they reload again, right? Yeah, this is not our game, gang. And I'm going to scoop it up. Like, don't even want to show them this, really. I don't know what we do here that turns this into a win. So I'm scooping it. This might be a touch early, but I just don't think we are overcoming this disadvantage we have. It's true. I'm not really hiding much information, I suppose, but I'm saving my brain. A couple of flyers that maybe encouraged me to think about the boots. I mean, we have some flying of our own, but not much. We've got a Frost Trickster and an Assistant, and an Archivist with Reach and a Needlethorn Drake. I guess that's decent, but I think we want a boots here with all the flyers we saw. We can bring our own Test of Talents in as well, or we already have it in. No, we don't. Let's bring in Test. This Sage, again, I think we play it, but I almost wish we didn't have this card. Like, it just has been so underwhelming. Hooray! The board is clear enough that I can start scrying one every turn. F this card. How much can you really see of someone's deck with Test with the timer burning down? I mean, you can see it all, Mike. How much you can retain, I guess, is a different question, but you can definitely see it. Helix. Is Helix good for us? Are they making tokens? Not quite as many. They did have a token maker. I kind of want to run this boots, but maybe I shouldn't, and we just use interaction and the light flying we have. I'm going to do it this way. Sure. I apologize for my mistakes, True, because like people are rooting for you and they want to see you succeed for the most part. I mean, there may be some anti-Ryans out there, but I always feel like when I make a mistake that has cost a game, I've cost my audience something because they like winning. They like to see the wins. But I hear you too. Apple Suicider, what you gonna do? Okay, no play on 2 so far. We're gonna attack with the Needlethorn Drake and hold up Test of Talents. Still nothing. All right. Well, attack and Professor, I guess. Not going to hold up Test for nothing. Maybe they counter this. Curate. All right. Can't bury because of the tax, but happy to send all of this in for possible trades. I don't love trading the Professor off, but it's a 4 mana for 4 mana. The mana's equal and we get 1 spare. So I'm going to go ahead and swing away. See what they want to take, what they want to block here. Then we can biomath with test up. Hall of Oracles, powerful card. Attack, attack! Let's race. Well, they get to scry, but this is not a bad draw. We get to continue holding up Test of Talents, knock down a blocker, crack in for 5, add 2 more power to the board, and hold up Anti-Spell Tech.
All right, everyone, chill.
All right, attack in. Interesting design note, or I think it's interesting. The words on cards are a big deal to R&D. They count the number of words they put on their cards. They count the number of words at common. They count the average number of words in a booster pack. As much as it seems like they have... Oh, baby. Sorry. Oh, maybe they can test our test, though. Oh, thank goodness. Dean of Perfection. Sorry, I'll get back to my point in a second. I'm scanning the Oppo's deck here, looking for anything else we need to fear, be aware of. Anyway, these words are expensive. Words, they want to keep words down. So you could make this say, this is where I should attack first and then talk. Sorry, hold on. But you could make the Frost Trickster say, when this enters the battlefield, tap target creature. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step, right? Or you may tap. Basically, what I'm saying is you could refactor this to say fewer words, and they like that. Oh, that's right. I forgot to exile from graveyard. We'll live. I'm holding up Barry. I'm getting distracted, really. I want to... Because I'm trying to make this point, though. But what we've seen a lot in design recently is wizards being willing to add cards to... add text to cards in service of saving clicks on Arena. So adding the words... "an opponent controls" is a big cost. That's 3 words. 2 of them are quite long. It's a lot of characters you're adding to your common Magic card. It's a cost that Wizards thinks long and hard about. It's a cognitive load cost, if we're going to get specific. It's a cost to the cognitive load you're putting on your players, but the benefit is that I get to do things like cast a Frost Trickster when my opponent only has one creature, and I don't need to click anything else. It just does the whole thing for me. And there's real gains in it as well. And we can duel. I think we just win here, but duel really ensures it, right? So let's duel away the Sage with the Mathematician. Oh yeah, Death Toucher. I had a Death Toucher, so that was silly. It didn't really matter either. It was just how do we want to win? But yes, if the game were a little more contested, that would have been the line there. But any line that gets the game won is fine there. All right, we saw some serious bombage in Oplo's deck. We know about the intervention now. We know about lots of... they just got their heavy spells. I think I want the other Helix because they're trying to make... They got 3 curves. They're doing the Serpentine curve thing, so the Berry and the Helix get better. And what are we cutting for that? Maybe even a subtraction. Although subtraction is nice to reduce the power of this Muse when it attacks. JM is not successfully using the time savings, but I'm glad it is there. Help me out, chat. I really want the Helix in. I'm not sure what to cut. We could cut some card draw and like a pop quiz, or no, I'm not cutting my card draw. Biomath. I think it's one of these. Maybe it's Cram Session. I'm going to cut Cram Session. I can't remember. I thought it said it checks on as this ability resolves, which implies that we can reduce. If I make it -3, do they have to pay more for their spells? That would be funny. It's not how it works, but you know, a man can dream. Needlethorn Drake, Tendrils, a nice place to start. Good mix of land and spells here, so I'm hopeful. Don't have any real bombs, but we have a reasonable mix of land and spells. I'm going to say no blocks. I don't think that's the concern right now. We can always Devouring Tendrils next turn. Like, I want to save for the possible Tendrils play. I'm going to say no blocks here. I'm smelling a pop quiz. Which I owe you a meme on. We've already seen it cast once or twice this event. If they don't cast one, if I'm wrong and they don't cast a pop quiz to end their turn, I'll give you a meme anyway. I think we'll save the Berry and just bury the Apprentice if it attacks. I think I did run it once, didn't I? I can give it to you again, but I'll wait. I think I did run the Bibliotech one already. All right, I owe you a pop quiz because they didn't do anything.
All right, pop quiz.
Pop quiz.
Pop quiz.
Pop quiz. Hot
Now
shot.
what do you do?
What do you do?
I'm going to bury... I mean, if they want to counter this, that's fine. I mean, they would see our hand if it's Test of Talents, but I don't want to not spend any mana this turn, and this is our last chance to do so. All right, now we can Devour, and we don't get to hold up Test, but we also can just straight threaten to block this, so I like holding up Eureka Moment and Test and not bothering with Devourer right now. Yeah, it's a great point, Mike. Mike's like, yeah, it's cool to bury this because you give them a bad draw. I always like doing that with like mana dorks in Cube and stuff when my opponents play a Llanowar elf, and then you put it on top of library later or something. It's a real bummer to redraw. Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to make a card for Marshall called Manowar Elf. Let's do it. I accidentally designed a magic card. So, sad to lose this, given that Tendrils turns it into removal for anything, but I am going to do it. We also have a couple of Ether Helixes that could get it back. Do I still design cards? Not on purpose. There's a pop quiz, but we don't have anything to Tendrils here. But we can bury and pop while holding up test, so that's what we'll do. That was one of my sets that I pitched. We had one of my favorite moments, times at Wizards was when we did an offsite, what do we call it? Hold on a sec here, let me take my turn. All right, we've got the Helix is nice. Kind of just want the summoning here though. As I said, this tends to be the thing I get and play the most when it comes to lessons. It's just so often you're like, huh, I guess the best thing I can do is this. Yeah, it's true. It also turns on the punch. That's a great call. And I like holding up Test of Talents, though. I don't think anything here is so threatening that we need to devour when we have a Test of Talents to protect our 4/4. And I'm going to go ahead and block because of Test of Talents. They could have their own test, like it could go like shock, test, test or something, but we've got Test of Talents, so let's make them have something here. Wow, we just called a bluff and got there? I love it. Biomath hold-up test or runner hold-up test? I guess runner hold-up test. It becomes unblockable starting next turn if we get a land. And if we don't get a land, sweet, we drew action. I probably wouldn't even counter shock, no. I'm just trying to think out what possibly, in what worlds our test gets countered, right? Ooh, opponent hand has the Draconic Intervention. Good to know, good to know. We already have seen their... Now, they don't draw when I do this, right? So I should always just pull it from their library. And then... and it's only from hand if they draw, right? So we take it from library and hand, or library and graveyard. So likely gonna get swept next turn. So we're gonna hold everything except, and then just rebuild after they sweep. Oh, they don't have a card to sweep with? Huh, I should look at that, huh? Well, maybe I should have applied more pressure then. I still like kind of playing around this, though. They could do something to find a sweeper. This looks pretty nice, though. All right, yeah, we did it. We messed up their sweep. It was all part of my master plan. Shut up, I know exactly what I'm doing. Do we deploy more to the board here? What could they do? Like, because this requires, like, there's nothing in the yard to fire it off, so they need to, like, draw a 2-mana spell, cast it, and then do 2, and that does nothing, really. So I just like playing the colony. You just, yeah, Squirrel feels safe. Mathematician is not, but Squirrel we can play. Yeah, discard to make treasure, that's true. If they have a 7-drop to discard to make treasure, that would be how they get out of it. Fair enough. But even then, we have Mathematician, Ether Helix behind, so I like playing the colony. Yeah! All right. Found some gems. And I think we lost game 1 there, though, right? So we came back and found a couple wins to pull out, not profit, but return on investment of some kind. That was a fun one. We got stomped by a really nice deck in the first round and had some, well, then we stomped what felt like a newer player in the second round, and then match 3 was pretty tight. I like it. We'll take those, and I think that means we get to open some packs. We should be over 10 now. All right, YouTube friends, didn't get the 3 wins, but we got some gems back there and had a good time. So let's call that a win on the day of sorts. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you the next draft.